Oh my goodness, man. Sebastian Fundora is a problem, bro. Like, this guy is... Everyone in that division honestly should be on notice. How are they going to beat this guy? Honestly, how are they going to beat Fundora, man? Like, he has all these natural advantages over all these.
It is not fair.
So he beats Virgil Ortiz.
It is. Forget about. It is not fair for him to be in that weight class.
Would you pick him against the 154s? So is that what you're saying? Like,
it is not fair for him to be in that weight class. They need to calibrate them scales. We don't know how he makes that weight. All stuff. There is some kind of trickery going on in boxing that no.
Oh man, it was a shutout. He did what he was doing good with the jab, and he stopped him. That was a good.
It can't be Arias. Huh? It can't be Arias. I'm surprised.
I had him winning.
Yeah.
Since the beginning.
Like, he
was a big. He's like the tallest. He was taller. He should have been in the NBA. Should have been in the NBA.
They should not like watching film on some of my guys. Cause like they never fight me how they fight other people. I think that's how Fundora must feel all the time. He's never gonna get a fighter that can fight his natural style or the style that he wants to fight against him. He's 6'6" and 150 pounds. It's insane.
Keith Thurman, once a unified champion and widely regarded figure in boxing, appeared severely battered. His face was heavily swollen and covered in blood, resembling someone who had endured a violent crash rather than a few rounds inside the ring. However, the reaction online shifted almost instantly after Sebastian Fundora was declared the winner. Instead of focusing solely on the stoppage, the boxing community, fans, analysts, and fellow fighters alike responded with disbelief for an entirely different reason. The outcome itself wasn't the only thing drawing attention. Many began raising serious concerns, with accusations spreading quickly across social media as people questioned whether the fight had been fair.
Night, Keith Thurman got his ass. He got his ass whooped last night. Ooh, damn. Ooh, shit. Fuck the Tower Inferno. Hey, y'all remember that dude from Street Fighter? What's his name? Dowsum? Oh, Dowsum? That mother with them long ass arms from Street Fighters back in the days. Damn. Ooh, 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 ooh. Damn, Keith couldn't cut the distance on that dude, man. Made his face look like goddamn roadkill. I was thinking when I was watching, I seen his face swelling up and shit, man. Woo, man. I was saying, damn, he need to bathe his face in Preparation H. Yeah, that shit sound funny, huh? That booty hole cream sound funny, but that's what he needed. He needs some Preparation H. Hey, listen to me, Thurman. Put that Preparation H on there, man. That'll remove a lot of that bruising, bro, and all that blood that's in your shit underneath your skin. Ooh, man, gosh, man. It wasn't shit you could do. Look, you had Fundora came with a game plan, and he knew you very well. Oh, he knew. Shit, he knew you before you attacked. You kind of like your feet shuffle, and then you explode in combinations. All he did was step back out of range. I told y'all that motherfucker been working on the step back game to keep his distance. I told y'all. You know. Shit, did y'all hear him after? What'd he say? Let me put my glasses on so I can see you. I told you that motherfucker can't see. But he can feel. He can feel. He can feel. He poking around. He can.
Debate began almost immediately, even before both fighters had fully exited the venue. Much of the attention focused on the unusual physical profile of Sebastian Fundora, measuring 6 feet 6 inches tall with an 80-inch reach. His build is more typical of a much heavier division. Despite that, he continues to compete at 154 pounds. This situation has drawn strong reactions from boxing traditionalists, as well as active fighters. Rolando Romero publicly voiced skepticism, hinting at the possibility that something unusual may be involved in how Fundora repeatedly meets the weight limit. Online discussions quickly intensified, with many describing his physical traits as an overwhelming structural advantage. For some observers, his long frame and reach create a level of leverage that feels out of place for the division, leading to comparisons that suggest he enters the ring with a unique physical edge others cannot match.
Fundora, the best version you've seen, and
Man, that dude need to be 86 from the division. He way too tall. I'm sorry, they need to calibrate them scales. I don't know how he making them weight classes. It is not fair.
cheat code.
It is not fair.
So he beats Virgil Ortiz. You think
It is. Forget about. It is not fair for him to be in that weight class.
Would you pick him against the 154s? So is that what you're saying? Like,
It is not fair for him to be in that weight class. They need to calibrate them scales. We don't know how he makes those that weight. All stuff. There is some kind of trickery going on in boxing that nobody wants to talk about.
What do you think about the sustained beatings that he passes out when he fights? It's the way he gets on top of people and just destroys them.
Man, he over there trying to chop everybody's head off. I'm telling you like this, man. I sit there, man. I just look. I'm like, there's no way. Like you gotta go over there and just like boom, right on the top like that, right? Hope for the best, you know.
Facts. How would you beat him?
Like that, I would just sit down and I'll go like, and you know what? I bet you anything. I bet you he can make 47 too, and I don't know how he would do it.
how much better has he gotten? Like from?
Oh no, he's gotten way better.
Yeah,
he's gotten way better. Dude, that dude a freak of nature. I don't know how he do it.
Who do you think is a better challenge for him, Boots or Zayas? Provided that one of them wins.
I think he beat. I think he beat them, man. Like I said, man, that's a difficult dude to beat. The thing is, how you gonna reach him? How you gonna reach him?
you gotta stay close to him. He's good on the inside, but you gotta stay in the
He's
pocket.
good on the inside. He's better on the inside.
The situation grew even more concerning once photos of Thurman's condition began spreading across the internet. The extent of the damage appeared so extreme that it quickly sparked a troubling wave of speculation. Among the claims gaining traction were suspicions about altered gloves. Some observers questioned whether standard 16-ounce gloves, combined with typical punching force, could realistically inflict that kind of visible harm in such a short period. As discussions intensified, attention turned to the severity of the bleeding and the nature of the cuts, leading to theories about possible changes to the glove padding or the materials used. Although no official ruling from the Athletic Commission has confirmed any wrongdoing, the images left a strong impression. When a highly experienced fighter like Thurman ends up so heavily marked after only a few rounds, it naturally leads parts of the boxing world to search for an explanation beyond the obvious outcome.
He's been walking people down, and if you notice, he's been using his distance a lot more, and Sebastian has been getting better. And when I mean he's been using his distance a lot more, dude, this guy over everyone, not only Thurman. I think against Thurman, he had a foot reach, like 12 inches of reach over him, but he's now using that. In his prior fights, if you see Fundora, he'd like to mix it up on the inside, and it would just drive a lot of people crazy because they would be seeing this and they'd be asking, yo, you're so much taller than these guys and you have such a long reach. Why are you negating your biggest asset? Why are you fighting these guys on the inside? And if you've seen in the Booker fight, in the second Zoo fight, and in this fight, he's been walking people down, but being smart, using his reach, picking people off, trapping them, and just staying just outside of range where they can't hit him, and using his reach. And Fundora did that in this fight. And I felt watching there in person, one is how long is Keith going to be able to keep this up in terms of his legs, the movement, the in and out. And as the rounds kept going on, I noticed like a change in body language and demeanor in Thurman. Like the punches were really starting to get to him. His face was starting to bruise up. And I think it was the fifth round, actually, when I felt like, man, we could be getting close.
Speculation around possible misconduct grew louder when respected boxing analyst Teddy Atlas weighed in. He pointed out that this was not the first instance where one of Sebastian Fundora's opponents ended a fight with severe and unusual damage. Atlas specifically referenced Fundora's recent matchup with Tim Tszyu, where Tszyu sustained a deep and uncommon cut to the head. The injury significantly affected his vision and ultimately changed the direction of that contest.
Look, he's a problem. And I'm not being a party pooper, I love Fundora. But before we go to some of the guys that he's beaten recently, he beat Costas, he beat, what's his name, Zoo. He beat Zoo, who he had beaten once before in a controversial fight where Zoo was bleeding very badly. And before he fought him in a rematch, Zoo had been knocked out. So he beats Zoo, and then he beats, Thurman, who's been very inactive, moved up in weight, and was a huge underdog for those reasons. So let him beat somebody maybe a little bit of a higher level of thought before you go too crazy. But I agree, he has improved since you won the title.
For Atlas and many observers, repeated incidents like these are difficult to dismiss as coincidence. The parallels between the severe cuts sustained by Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman have strengthened concerns among fans. As a result, what initially seemed like isolated doubts has grown into widespread scrutiny across online communities. Many are now examining these outcomes more closely, with some suggesting that such damaging effects could be an intentional element of Sebastian Fundora's fighting approach.
And then your face looked like you had a whole bunch of pepperonis all over that motherfucker. Bro, the referee was like, man, let me save you, man, because, your wife gonna look at you different. You go back home with all them pepperonis all over you, she gonna look at you different. That's it. So, referee saved your ass, man, because you was gonna be a meme, a highlight reel, ESPN. Yeah, you was gonna be a meme because he was gonna body your ass, bro. For real, he was gonna put your ass in the damn dirt. Straight up. So, you need to be thanking the referee. You need to send the referee some damn flowers, some candy or something. Send them something for saving your ass, Keith. For real, man. You shouldn't be mad or disappointed, bro. That energy you feeling in your heart, bro, and that pain you feel in your heart, bro, hey, you might can get one more. Go do another one, man. Yeah, go do. We approve, or the stormtroopers approve for you to get one more. Just do one more, just to see, like, you know what I mean? Is it over? Is it over? Because this motherfucker you fought is abnormal. I told y'all, man, this dude, I try to tell y'all. I try to tell everybody, man, but I don't get them right all the time, but shit, I got this one right.
Aside from the visible injuries, attentive viewers pointed out actions during the fight that raised further concerns. Fans reviewing the footage in detail highlighted subtle movements that appeared to make the contest even more difficult for Keith Thurman. Some claimed that Sebastian Fundora was pulling down on Thurman's head while landing shots, an action prohibited due to the added leverage it creates. When combined with his significant height advantage, these moments led some to feel Thurman was being controlled and limited inside the ring. The discussion wasn't only about reach, but also about how Fundora used his physical attributes during exchanges. Observers suggested that certain in-ring actions may have pushed the boundaries of the rules, especially considering the advantages he already possessed.
Now, the fight gets stopped. Keith is not happy about it. I know in the post-fight, he kind of went off on referee Thomas Taylor. Thomas Taylor's, I feel, is a very, very good referee. And I think emotions got in the way. Keith's a warrior. Obviously, he wanted to continue, probably go out on his shield. But, like, look, bro, look. Thomas Taylor more than likely did you a favor, man. Like, I love the guy. I love Keith. I have a lot of respect for him, man. And if you want to keep fighting, him stopping it is conducive to you still being able to have more fights, because it could have gotten a lot worse from that point on. And I think that's a sentiment that you guys at home, right? Feel like that was the right time to stop that fight and to preserve Keith so that he can continue fighting and save them from potentially an even worse knockout, a broken orbital bone or something like that. You know, so I think the fight was stopped when it should be stopped. But like Rolly said post-fight when we caught up with him, like, Fundura's a cheat code. This version of him is now. Like before, there was a lot of openings there. And I know a lot of fighters in breaking down tape of Fundora still think that those disadvantages are still there. But man, I'm telling you, he's cleaning them up. He's getting better at every single fight. And I think the longer time goes and the more fights he gets, imagine this, he gets, you know, Spence and Charlo, and then he goes into these other title holders. Like, that version of Fundora is going to be so much better, so dangerous compared to the one that we saw against.
However, reducing Sebastian Fundora's win to accusations alone overlooks an important development in his progression. Former title holder Chris Algieri analyzed the fight and pointed to a significant shift in Fundora's approach. He explained that Fundora is no longer simply relying on his height and unrefined offense. Instead, he has developed into a more strategic and effective competitor. Against Keith Thurman, he maintained control throughout much of the action, consistently working behind a jab that exceeded 40 attempts per round, an output that was not a regular part of his earlier performances.
Yeah, Thurman is not really a real 154-pounder. He's only got 2 knockouts in the last 11 years, but he provided almost no resistance. He landed a couple of big shots, 2 or 3 big shots throughout the fight, and didn't do anything to hurt Fundora. I'll give Thurman a left hook in the last round or so that did make Fundora clinch for a moment, and then he unleashed 4 or 5 or 6 shots after that. But Fundora is sharper than ever now, and he places his shots very well. His sweeping left hand was beautiful. He jabbed incessantly, nonstop, but was patient behind it. And he would sweep the left hand to the body, sweep it to the chest, sweep it up top. He hit Keith Thurman with the first straight left hand he threw in the first 10 seconds of the fight, and it kind of reminded me of him dropping Tim Tszyu in the rematch with the straight left hand. And it was kind of like, yeah, this is going to be a long night. And it was, kind of, because it was only 6 rounds. But yeah, he's much better now. And I think we look at it now as more of a 50-50 fight with the boots and the Ortiz.
He incorporated sharp, compact uppercuts from a distance, turning the matchup into a complex challenge that Keith Thurman struggled to figure out. When Sebastian Fundora landed a precisely timed left hand in the second round that visibly shook Thurman, the tone of the fight began to change. At that point, it became clear the situation extended beyond just a difference in physical attributes. It reflected a calculated performance from a fighter who had learned how to fully apply his natural advantages with purpose and control.
And just defensively, he kept it a lot tighter now. I even noticed in the Tszyu rematch a lot of time when he punches, his hands come back to his chest, his hands would come back to his waist. The opposite hand that he's throwing with isn't really home defensively, but he was a lot more defensively sound in that regard tonight. The hands placement was much better on defense. And I like the get back king stuff. Anytime Thurman would land a shot, he would come back with 4 or 5 or 6 more, like a Benavidez, like a Eric Morales, like a Emmanuel Navarrete, guys that are get back kings. They return fire and try to you hit me with 1 and I'm coming back with 4 or 5 or 6 right away. And they get mean when you land a good shot. They want to send a message with their return fire. So on to what's next. Well, he might be going on a PBC fighter retirement tour. So because I asked after the fight about unification with the winner of a potential Boots and Zayas fight, and I asked about fighting Virgil Ortiz. Samson Lukowicz, his promoter, grabs the mic and says, why even consider Ortiz right now when he's in legal troubles with Oscar De La Hoya? And yeah, we'll fight the winner of Zayas and Ennis if it's on.
While the rapid ascent of Sebastian Fundora has surprised many, the situation surrounding Keith Thurman tells a far more difficult story. Commentators, such as Liam Goff and Winky, offered direct assessments as they evaluated the former champion's showing in the ring.
I'm going to be frank, Sebastian Fundora early in his career, up until really up until the Tim Tszyu fight, the first fight, I was never that impressed with Fundora. He was a specimen in a sense of I don't think you've ever seen a 6'5", nearly 6'6", 154 pounder at all. And it again, the height difference in this fight was insane. I mean, Keith Thurman probably had a higher ceiling in terms of just ability than Fundora, in his prime. And he still has a bit of ability there. But you're talking nearly a foot the difference. I mean, Keith Thurman is 5'7", 5'6". So you're talking nearly a whole foot the difference. And the reach. Keith Thurman couldn't do anything. It doesn't matter how fast you are. When you're fighting someone who has nearly nearly an inch in height, and God knows how much in reach, you can't do anything. This is nothing you can do. The reach is just too big. That's what it was in there. And again, these guys, 5'7" for a welterweight, it's kind of considered on the kind of average to short end, but you're used to maybe giving up maybe 2 to 3 inches a night. It's nothing that you can't get around and stuff like that. You're not used to giving up nearly a foot in height. You don't plan for that. And that's why I remember when they swapped Fundora, I think it was Thurman versus Tszyu last year or 2 years ago, it was meant to happen. And when they swapped that out, I was like, that's stupid. Imagine training for someone who's 5'7" if you're Tim Tszyu, and then going to fight someone who's 6'5", 6'6" with a week to go. I mean, talk about not ideal preparation. There you go. But Fundora, early in his career, he used to fight up very close, which is strange because you're thinking you're 6'5", where you're probably at the very least 3 to 4 inches taller, at the very least than most guys. Why don't you just use your reach? He never really used it until he fought Tim Tszyu, and then we always used it. And
Keith Thurman, once a unified champion with the world seemingly at his fingertips, saw his career momentum crumble due to extended multi-year layoffs. He spent his prime years largely inactive before facing Sebastian Fundora. The effects of age and ring rust were immediately apparent. Thurman relied on constant lateral movement as a strategy, but it quickly backfired, exhausting his legs within the opening rounds. He appeared slow, drained, and unable to generate meaningful offense against his much taller opponent. The bout served as a stark reminder of boxing's harsh realities. Time waits for no one. Thurman entered the ring as a diminished version of the champion he once was, underscoring just how relentless the sport and Father Time can be.
Winky, man, I know it's probably tough to see that because Keith's your boy.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your reaction to the fight?
Yeah, he's part of the game. Fundora's a tough person to fight, tall, rangy, tough, and he threw a lot of punches. And Keith had a little long layoff, and no excuse, man. He's just a tough fighter. He's just tough to beat, and then Keith had to do what he had to do. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think, was there any adjustments you feel that were lacking in there?
Yeah, it was. I think he was doing too much movement. That's what got him kind of tired with his legs, and then he couldn't do the things that he wanted to do. But, Fundora was just trying to put the pressure on him. And like I said, it's been a while for Keith fighting, and then fighting somebody at that size. It's difficult. People can say what they want. You could do this, you could do that, but you ain't never fight nobody 6'6", 80-inch reach, and love to fight. So it is what it is.
Given his age and his inactivity, do you think this might be Keith's last fight, or do you think he still has enough?
No, I think he just need to get back and be active. It's hard when you only fight once every year and stuff. You got to be active. So, you know what I'm saying? When he stops being active, he'll be better.
How do you beat someone like Fundora with that size and reach and height?
It's going to be tough. You're going to take a unique fighter to do that. But, Fundora, he keep working hard, keep doing what he's doing. It's going to be hard for a lot of people to beat him until he start fighting people his height. If somebody can come up and be that tall, but he'll go up fighter, take my head off to him, and I like things happen. We're in the sport. You win some, you lose some, but the champions come back and try.
Amid the flood of accusations and critical commentary, Sebastian Fundora has remained unfazed. He rejects any suggestion that his win was anything but earned. Instead, he maintains that the decisive TKO reflected the results of intense and focused preparation. Fundora disclosed that he had been engaged in a rigorous training camp for this fight since August of the previous year. He dismissed claims of altered gloves or unfair tactics, crediting his performance solely to disciplined effort and hard work. For him, the controversy is merely noise surrounding a defeated opponent. He followed his plan meticulously and entered the ring ready to handle whichever version of Keith Thurman appeared that night, demonstrating without question that he belongs among the elite in his division.
What are your thoughts about the grading of this fight? And how do you grade yourself for your performance in this fight?
The grading, I think I did very good. I can give this an A performance because it's not too much damage I took from this fight. I did use my reach like everybody wants me to always. So I think listening and sticking to the plan gives me that A performance. I don't give it an A plus. I give it an A performance. We got one over here.
Hi, Sebastian. Congratulations. It's Saucy with Elite Champ TV. Was Keith tougher than you thought he would be? Because, there were some moments where, we saw that battle and it was really amazing to watch.
No, it was not actually. But all credit to him, of course. I take my hat off to Keith, of course. He's a great former champion. Like I said, a future Hall of Famer for sure. But no, we trained very hard for this fight, and we made sure that we crossed our T's and dotted our I's, so that performance from him wouldn't be nothing for us to nothing crazy.
The action in the arena may have concluded, but the conversation around this fight continues to intensify. Sebastian Fundora's dominant performance over Keith Thurman has sparked questions about how weight classes and natural advantages are evaluated in boxing. Is it fair for a competitor with the size and reach of a heavyweight to compete at 154 pounds? Or is it simply a matter of genetic chance? The combination of severe injuries, speculation about possible irregularities, and the clear progression of a physically imposing fighter has created a divided response within the boxing community. This story goes beyond a single win. It raises broader concerns about the future of the sport. Whether fans see Fundora as an extraordinary natural talent or a meticulously prepared champion, one fact stands out. Very few are eager to face the towering inferno inside the ring.
Keith Thurman getting stopped in the 6th round against Sebastian Fundora.
I picked Fundora to win. Me and a friend of mine, we kind of like go back and forth with our picks, and we was like talking about it leading up. He had Thurman, I had Fundora. And I just think Fundora has found his groove with being able to carry you fast. He's being able to make you move faster than you want to move, and he wears you out. And although he's not like this kill puncher, those punches is hurt. It's like he has strong wiry strength. You see how he's breaking up people's faces, man? He's breaking their faces up. He's getting all knuckle in them punches. And his jab has got better. And Keith is a guy that kind of moves around and then runs you into big shots. It's hard to run a guy into a big shot. They got Keith listed as 5'9.5". He's not. I've been around him. If you look at his stare downs with guys like Danny Garcia and Sean Porter, he might be 5'8". And Sebastian Fundora, I'm 6'3". Sebastian Fundora is about 6'5", 6'6". So I just didn't think that Keith would be able to run him into a shot. He would have to reach too much. If Keith could go forward a little bit better and kind of make him sit on the inside and beat him to the punch there, I think he would have a better chance. But he's not really an inside fighter like that. He's like a bounce rhythm fighter. And at 5'8", I just don't know if you could beat a guy like that with that kind of jab. So the fight kind of Fundora got to him a little bit earlier than I thought he would, but I thought Fundora would win the fight.
We want to hear what you think. Should a fighter's height play a role in defining boxing weight classes? Did Sebastian Fundora hold an unfair edge in this matchup? Share your opinions in the comments below. That wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our future content. And don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments. We'll see you in the next video.